John, David, and Joseph are back at home, kind of being hold down the fort.
It's really weird to be at the house with only like me and John. It's like really quiet there.
And of course, John David's with the wrecker business and stuff keeps him kind of busy.
We'll have fun on the trip.
So Josh, hi.
I trust Josh and John and the rest of the crew back home that they'll take good care of Joseph and Josiah, and they'll have a great time building special memories.
That morning, we've been stuck in the kitchen or anything, so the only thing we had in there was bacon, so I decided, cook up some bacon.
That's what you're having for breakfast?
Yeah.
Okay.
We ran out of eggs and bread.
There is a moment in a 19 Kids and Counting episode that most people watched and completely missed. A 14-year-old boy is sent home away from his parents, away from his siblings, to stay in an empty house with almost no food and minimal supervision. And the show presents this like it is perfectly normal, like it is just a logistical decision a busy family had to make. It is not normal, and once you understand the full pattern, you will not be able to unsee it. Everything discussed here comes from public court records, verified news reporting, and official legal documents. This channel is about understanding what actually happened, not rumor, not speculation, just the documented record of a family that lived their life on camera and still managed to hide things in plain sight. So here is the central question this video is going to answer. Joseph Duggar was repeatedly separated from his family during the years the show was actively filming, sent home early, sent to programs, sent away, and the cameras just kept rolling like nothing unusual was happening. Why was that the pattern, and who decided it? To understand this, you need to know where the family was in early 2010. Michelle Duggar had just given birth to her 19th child, Josie Duggar, born at approximately 25 weeks gestation, what is called a micro-preemie. Josie weighed under 2 pounds. She required a level 1 NICU, which was not available near the family's home in Northwest Arkansas. So the family relocated to Little Rock for what ended up being 4 months. 4 months is a long time, and the Duggars had a television show to produce. So decisions had to be made about which children went to Little Rock and which children stayed behind. Here is where the timeline gets important. Josh Duggar was 21 years old at this point. John David Duggar was 19. Joseph was 14. Josiah was 13. And the decision documented on camera was to send Joseph and Josiah back to the family home in Northwest Arkansas under the supervision of John David and Josh. Not their parents, not a relative of similar age, Josh and John David. Jim Bob's explanation on camera was straightforward. He said he trusted Josh and John to take care of things. That was the reasoning given to a national television audience. And here is the part that most people overlooked entirely. By this point, 2010, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar already knew what Josh had done. This is not speculation. This is established in the public record. Josh Duggar's conduct toward younger siblings had been disclosed to his parents years before this episode filmed. A Springdale Police Department report later obtained by In Touch Weekly documented that the family had knowledge of Josh's behavior as early as 2002 and 2003. So 2 teenage boys still legally required to be in school under Arkansas homeschooling law were placed in a home largely unsupervised, sent to work at a car lot, sent to fix pipes at a rental property, and positioned under the informal authority of a man their own parents had already had serious cause to be concerned about. And the show presented this as a father expressing confidence in his sons. Now, this is the moment where I want you to hold something in your mind. Because what we are looking at is not just bad parenting in a single moment, it is a pattern. And once you see the full shape of it, the 2010 arrangement stops looking like a logistics problem and starts looking like something else entirely. Joseph Duggar was sent away from his family during multiple distinct periods documented on the show. He was separated during the Little Rock relocation. He was later sent to the Alert Academy, a Christian wilderness-style program in Texas. He was sent to pursue outside work and religious training at different points. Each time, the separation was framed as opportunity or necessity. What the show never offered was a consistent explanation for why it was specifically Joseph who kept being removed from the family unit. Here is what the documented record does show. The Duggar household operated under the Bill Gothard Institute in Basic Life Principles framework, a fundamentalist homeschooling and family governance system that has since been the subject of its own serious misconduct findings. Within that framework, separation and structured programs were standard responses to what leadership considered behavioral or moral concerns in young men. This is the part most coverage of the Duggar family completely skips over. The response to problems in this household was not professional intervention. It was not therapy. It was not law enforcement, even when law enforcement should have been involved. The response was removal. Relocation, a program. Keep the cameras rolling and manage the problem quietly. And an entire television production apparatus, a network, and a national audience watched it happen and asked no questions. If you are a parent and you send a 14-year-old child home away from you for 4 months with no real schooling happening, minimal food in the house, and supervision provided by a young adult you have personal and serious reasons not to trust, that is not a logistics decision. That is a choice. And choices like that have consequences that do not stay hidden forever. Josh Duggar was convicted in December 2021 by a federal jury on charges of receiving and possessing child sexual abuse material. He was sentenced in May 2022 to 12 years and 7 months in federal prison. The case was prosecuted in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Arkansas. The younger siblings he once supervised are adults now. Several have spoken publicly about their experiences growing up. Jill Duggar Dillard published a memoir. Others have granted interviews. The picture that has emerged is of a family structure where children were systematically undereducated, undersupervised, and managed for the benefit of a public image rather than their own well-being. What strikes me most, and I want to be clear, this is my perspective, is how much was visible, not hidden, visible on camera, broadcast nationally. And the machinery around this family, the network, the sponsors, the audience, looked at a 14-year-old boy being sent away from his parents, working at a car lot instead of attending school, and called it wholesome family television. The question of why Joseph specifically kept being separated is one the public record has not fully answered. What the record does answer is the broader question this story forces us to ask. When a family's image becomes more valuable than its children's safety, who is responsible for what happens next? The family that built the image or the system that kept broadcasting it? That question does not have a comfortable answer, but it is the right one to sit with.